no matter what, I get tingles in the back of my calves, and then probably because I want to be able to run to that competition to be able to see all that happening. But that's going to be in the future. The present is right now. We've got the August Spin Showcase to get going and live and loud. We have a dual set of esports for you today. It's Rocket League, it's Overwatch, and we're going to start on the Rumble on the soccer pitch side with Rocket League. Let's go ahead and check out that bracket as we're looking into it today. We've got 7 teams that are going to be bringing in, and our first matchup of the day here, Orbital, is going to be with the Franklin Panthers versus Miracle.
And that's going to be a pretty good one. I believe the Franklin Panthers coming in as a squad that have played together for quite some time. Team Miracle, of course, a group of kind of put together teams, but that's kind of the fun part about it all, in my opinion. They're going to be trying to work their way up the bracket. Of course, these are best of 5s, so keep that in mind. These are a lot of games for the teams to play, both the Franklin Panthers as well as I believe the Miracle squad are sitting within a pretty relative close range aspect, so their levels of competition should be fairly similar.
Yeah, this is going to be a fun one. A lot of juniors actually walking into this matchup, which is huge because just yesterday we saw a ton of seniors. The juniors online today is going to be interesting because they have about a year and a half before everything kind of gets started. It looks like we're actually going to be resetting this lobby. So you have a best of 5 series, and as we kind of work into this bracket today, it's not the longest bracket in existence that I've seen ever in Rocket League. Double elimination still can take its toll, and if you go into those first lower rounds, you're going to be seeing best of 3. But it's neat to see how we've also witnessed a lot of dual game type of players between Valorant. We may even seen some in Overwatch, Rocket League as well. Great to see them really kind of put it all on the line, trying out for every single one of these esports.
That's kind of the interesting thing. I mean, there are so many new esports always coming up. We talk about the length of time for a lot of these games, and I hate saying it, some of them fade out over time. Some of them do not have that long of a lifespan, so being able to translate your skills between multiple games is very, very important. I think one of the main ones, and the easiest ones to kind of notice, are the FPS genres. We're talking about, Valorant, we're talking about Overwatch. I mean, you can translate a lot of the skills between the two, and that helps you kind of grow in, and not only that, be very flexible. I am always looking at flexibility in players, how neatly can you fit into a team. And so, these multi-game weekends tend to be a really good showcase of what a player can bring to the table.
And even more from that, too, you have games that sometimes nothing translates at all. And that's actually a little bit more rare, but Rocket League really does highlight some of that. So if you need a specialist type of student, this is going to be your kind of cream of the crop. They're going to be rising to the top as well. Also, I mean, I see you sneaking in there. We've got some Coke products.
I was thirsty. I was thirsty a little bit. I was like, I need to get something to drink.
No, we were Sprite chilling for like the last 2 weeks, and this is green screen in case my world isn't purple and blue. So we do encourage you to be seeing not what you just witnessed today as the showcases, but as well, some of these students will be trying to get nominated into that massive Coca-Cola All-Star event. So there's a lot of building up happening at the beginning of the semester, and we're just ending out summer at the first couple of weeks of the school year.
And that's kind of the fun part as well. I mean, these are players that are also looking maybe into the 2025 year. Hey, how far do I want to go with my own career? And that's kind of the cool thing about the Stay Plugged In platform. How far can you go? And I always think there's always so much more outside of just playing the game as well. You can look into production. You can look into helping out with the management team. I know a lot of players that they play a couple of years and then, hey, maybe, you don't go as far as you like. You can still be a team manager and they're picked up by different organizations. So, having a taste of everything to do with esports, I think is very important.
We're going to go into our real first lobby. Game number 1 is we're going to have Miracle in the orange and Franklin Panthers in the blue, but in the back of the net already goes dark. I've seen this player before. They're made to hit these clips.
Just that easy. Little bit of a flick said, nah. You're going to watch this go right over your head, and it's a very well-done goal. Remember, with the early goals, it's always an easy time to kind of figure out exactly what's going to go down in the game. If you can get an early goal, you set yourselves ahead and give yourselves that early punch into the game, especially if the game turns out to be a stalemate for the rest of the, 4 or 5 minutes.
And Dark actually was with us just a little while back, a couple weeks ago, into a 1v1 tournament. So they were trying to test their skills, not only from this 3v3 team-oriented pitch, but also what they can do individually with their mechanics. So good to see how that's already showcased here in the first few seconds of play. And Miracle receiving a lot of this would-be pressure quite well here, Orbital, but it's been a lot of kind of dump and chase by the Franklin Panthers. Want to see if they can start really kind of finding some control on these attacks. It looks like they're setting up for it now.
I mean, they're going to give it their best shot, but Miracle also have it a decent bit under control. I love this chase going out here. DonBoss saying, yeah, we're going to challenge you at every angle, and there's going to be an attempted steal, plus a bump corner is going to be covered here. So it's not too bad of a deal, but I love the fact that you were saying, hey, Franklin Panthers are trying to set up, but Miracle are actively looking to hone in. Nice demo to slow down any extra engagement. Shot goes just a little bit short. Coop hits the side of the net.
korupp, actually the lone senior out here on the pitch, wants to find a lot of value out of these showcases. Is probably going to be signing up for pretty much the majority of them throughout the school year to make sure that all the recruiters know exactly what they can bring to their program almost immediately into that mid to late 2025. korupp trying to climb that ladder, and Dxrk pumping in that one downfield, and it's again been Miracle fending off these attacks from the perimeter. We've had all of that one solid push into the back of the net, and Franklin Panthers, they've otherwise had some great ideas, and that's just a misconnect in midfield.
It's game one. Everyone's still trying to connect, make sure they're good to go. Ball rolls right in front of Franklin Panthers' goal, but of course, it was covered. Very nice shot, very nice save coming out here. DonBoss ready to ramp it up, though. Nice little kick away, and ensuring that the ball stays on that right side of the field. High roller, though. Coop trying to take the air. Good demo to open up the middle of the field with no one really in the goal line, but running out of boost. You're going to pass it over, and now the coverage for Miracle ensures that this is staying at a +1 game for them.
It's a war of attrition right now, and it's slowly being won by Franklin Panthers. I say that, but they've not been able to get a solid shot on target as of yet. Dxrk is actually one of those players that I saw in Valorant competitions, so seeing them come up into this Rocket League really shows that dual sport athlete in them. Dxrk, losing handles, but they're going to regain it. Nice flick. That's going to be powered away and force Dark to have to jump. And this is actually a man advantage before DonBoss comes back into the rotation. Dark makes the tiniest touch and leaves it out into open waters. The Panthers are starting to slowly surround Miracle, but Miracle is actually rotating pretty consistent.
It's one of the big parts. It can look like it is a hurting of the opponent, but honestly, the ball can be popped out so many different ways, and it feels like Miracle have decent control over that ball. They're never letting it get too far out of their sights. You can see it here. Nice little coverage, and Franklin Panthers are more chasing. They're not really setting themselves up for the proper spots, and with that over-aggressiveness, they now have to be on that defensive end. And Miracle so far has shown that they're more than willing to carry in a 1v1 or 1v2 scenario if given the opportunity. A little bit of a shot on goal as PCO says, okay, that's about all I got. A challenge in the middle, though, as that's great. Save coming out. PCO trying for a third, but hits it off the corner, and Coop is going to send it as well, but way too high as Miracle go ahead and lean out. 1 minute left as we have been set on this one goal for quite some time. Another shot and attempt, but Dxrk with another save.
Pretty sure we got that goal in the first 4 seconds, and then we find one in the last 54 seconds. Franklin Panthers were chipping and weathering down the cliffside. That was Miracle, and finally they can get something with heat on target. Everything else was hitting the pipes in the backboard, and this one finally finds center mass. Less than a minute to go, and things finally erupt all at once.
Of course, the eruption is only starting, though. At this point, it's more of a gurgle. We need to see the full length of it, and that's going to be Dxrk carrying it in. As easily as we spoke, I mentioned that Miracle loved to solo out. That was all Dxrk.
That was uncontested, unstoppable, went in the sky and left to their own devices. Dxrk throws that on TikTok faster than you can say, Miracle finds 2. They can get it really quick, and Dxrk trying to do it again, but Dxrk will at least step in their way. Half minute approaching here, Orbital, and you gotta feel like the Franklin Panthers, they don't have the same amount of time to try and set up a long-standing siege like they did a bit ago.
I don't think they really need to. They are just chilling. I love this. Open net, though, rolling in front. Coop says, nah, not as open as you think. Still, though, you got to have a hard chase here. Ball spins out to the side. No way! Midfield shot. I thought one of Miracle would be there with the Miracle save, but it doesn't. We're tied 2-2.
DonBoss turned and then realized that they were completely broken. Dark was going to be the only one maybe to get there, and I thought it was a boost over ball situation, but they had stepped up just a little bit too close to the middle of the pitch. So now where we had one goal inside the first 5 or so seconds, we've had 3 in the last 54. Been a wild time trying to end it in regulation. Xing setting one up, and Coop can't get an undercut to try and extend regulation time. We go overtime to game number 1. This one went from quiet to way, way loud.
I love the fact that it's very controlled loud, as that's Coop to send it away. Hat trick to secure game 1 in this best of 5 has got to feel pretty dang good.
It feels great, especially when you can suddenly surprise Miracle. So a miracle done the other direction for the Franklin Panthers, as PCO, Xing, and of course Coop bring that one home. They get the Prodigy medal and they get 11 shots, and really that's what quietly builds up into this game. You have even saves on both sides here, Orbital, but it was Miracle. Even when they could get those solo plays out of Dark, nothing else manifested. Even with 6 shots, 5 or 7 shots rather, 5 of those came from Dark. Shut down Dark, and it was all bright skies for Franklin Panthers.
You could almost say the exact same thing, though, for the Panthers. Hey, listen, if we are going to shut anyone down at this point, we've identified that Coop likes to make miracles happen. And with that own kind of testament, I will say I don't want to say Coop played poorly. Do not get me wrong. 3 goals, amazing job, even an OT. But it did feel like Miracle, their defense waned just a tiny bit at the end. And anyone that's played Rocket League knows, if you give an inch, anyone will take a mile. It is that simple. If you let go for like half a second, the goals can rack up very quickly. I have a feeling Miracle are like, okay, no worries. It's game 1. We have a few more to win. We're okay. We'll see if they can kind of tighten things up as we go to the under part of the sea. Gotta love the coral sitting around.
If you give a mouse a cookie, they're going to ask for an aquarium, and that's exactly where we end up. DonBoss, you're going to have to leave this one up to the senior in korupp, and that ends up being kind of a nifty little side pass, but Dark is going to play, well, until they hit the respawn bench. And just like you said, I feel like there was some level of the defense just kind of squandering chances, but it was the breakneck speed, especially taking advantage of these that Franklin Panthers brought, and that's now 4 goals here for Coop.
Okay. Hey, listen. Coop just trying to shut me up, and I will say this as a caster. I am never more happy than when I am proven wrong, because that means players are going above and beyond, and that's the start here. Coop so far, 4 goals of 4 for the Franklin Panthers.
My ego loves to be proven right. I don't mind either. You know what? I'm a human. I can have the full experience, if you will, in this reptilian body of mine. But the first minute finds first purchase here for the Panthers. Dark gets between 2, and you see Xing super retreating. He's going to go to the corner, and DonBoss wants to actually just drop one in. Oh, what a save by Xing. That was as far and away from the defender as you could possibly make that shot happen. And Dark is going to at least challenge Coop. No putback shot to be found, especially as everyone is trying to now turn away to retreat to defense, and Dark has to stop him out.
Love the fact that we're seeing those demos come in a little bit faster as well. And the big part is demos, not just for demo's sake. You got to get a little spicy. That's a whiff, though, in the midfield, and that's going to lead Coop to get a chance. Can't flick it over the defender, though. Dark, the 2 stars of the teams at this point, hard fighting it out. korupp, of course, challenge on the left side of the field. Coop challenging in the middle again. And this ball jockeying position is a little bit of chaotic mess, because Miracle and Franklin Panthers, neither side, really been given a lot of space and time to set up.
We're finding that third man gap. I saw a time or 2. It was held, I think, by Dark, and they were able to get it a little bit twisted. This is going to be a putback, and that's going to be a nice second goal. PCO knew that there was an initial chip made by Coop as they got a demo to just find this one, and then they forced Don to step up to the plate. As soon as you commit on that, that ball better be banged away, or else you're going to be under threat of another shot.
The +2 for Franklin Panthers, they are sitting pretty dang pretty. And it does feel like Dxrk has been relegated to a little bit of that safe aspect. You are forced into a situation where you don't really get to play your game as much, but when you do get opened up, that is as easy as it goes. Dxrk carries it straight into the goal.
korupp with a little backside touch, and Dxrk on the dunk at the crossbar. The Dxrk dunk is nearly automatic 99% of the time, and that time around it hit that higher percentage. So sub 3 minutes to go. Dxrk is going to steal mid boost, and they immediately want to go sprinting with the idea that they can put the Franklin Panthers on their heels. It didn't happen in those first 4, and that's actually going to be Franklin Panthers that now set up on the other side of the pitch. Flippery set, but they can't get the ground pinch.
Coop was looking at it though. Coop was like, yo, give me that pinch. Give me that open net possibility. But korupp sends one from high right. And that was just a solid pick. DonBoss with a perfect pass there. Beauty of a shot.
That was a heck of a give and go, especially at midfield. So we've really opened up a can of worms here. Great offenses on both ends. The defenses have been a bit stretched thin. And that's DonBoss. They're going to threaten PCO, they've been able to get a goal here, Orbital, but at times it feels like they've been kind of waning on their rotation, as it's been a lot more of Dxrk and, of course, Coop, who has been a mighty offensive monster. Over the midway mark of game number 2, Miracle looking to see what they can build, but they're stuck on their own back half for the time being.
I don't think that's going to change anytime soon either. You're just like, dang, all right, we're getting challenged every which way. Dxrk tried to go high, left it for korupp, but Dxrk says, I'm not getting juked out here. A little bit of high roll over the side, but Coop is able to save it. And honestly, if one a miracle was there, that would have been huge. Dxrk saying, okay, they're getting a little bit sloppy. Can we do anything? We got 2 minutes left to score a goal, or else we're going to a second OT. Coop is also lighting things up and saying, okay, we can make this work. Dxrk sends it off to right. Picked up by Dxrk, kicked back to mid.
Robbed by the laws of physics from that interior post side shot. You know that Miracle would love to have that lead right now, but no one does, as we're even at 90 seconds and less. Flip reset by korupp. They lose it out to Dxrk, and there was an immediate follow by Don. They wanted to be there, but they're going to flip this pitch to his opposite side. So Don is going to relegate themselves up to the corner, trying to be a passing man. But look how far both Dxrk as well as korupp are. There's no support there. So that was all just to test the possible timidity of this defense. We're going to that 1 minute mark. That's a great cut. It was a little bit inaccurate.
Well, you got a minute and bounce off the wall. Good setup, but a nice challenge by Dxrk. Third tap, maybe you have it. Nice boost, and it's in. korupp with the follow-up. That's how you want to play. A miracle may not be a miracle because miracles are just out of the blue. That was well set up and well played, as everyone had a decent bit of tenacity.
Miracles are just the most extreme form of luck, and luck is built off of taking advantage of opportunity. Miracle can make opportunities happen in surplus. Don ends up getting demoed, though. That's a set to the backboard. They're calling Dxrk's number. He's going to go to the outside perimeter, see if he can get one more to be handled, but Dxrk is on the backboard, twisting, turning, giving it up to DonBoss. They're going to extend this pitch, and if they can continue to do that, they're going to keep the Panthers pinned in. Miracle looking to type this series here in late term.
Oh boy, this is going to get spicy. DonBoss really wants to put the final nail in the coffin. Got 20 seconds to do so. Right now, the Franklin Panthers, they made magic happen before as well. The Panthers know how to hunt. They know how to stalk their prey. 10 seconds left. Dxrk going to go ahead and collect, set it up for a teammate. Not really looking too far. But at this point, you're just playing keep away. So very, very well done. It's going to be Franklin Panthers. Can they juggle? Ball taps on the ground just before 1. You're able to get a little bit of roll out, but the hard chase I don't think is going to be there, and it touches. And that's Miracle to tie it up 1-1.
That was just an extension too far. No one was already at midfield, and that was a great overall teamwork, I guess, just effort to be able to be found by Miracle. And this time around, korupp takes 2/3 of the goals, 50% from the pitch, and they also, as a team total, take more shots this time around, 12-8 of Panthers. So good job overall. And it's not like Panthers weren't in this. We were, dead even right at the midway of the game. So good looks by this squad, but they kept Panthers from finding better chances from that middle of the pitch. And then that last 90 seconds, they just pushed all of Franklin back.
And it felt very well coordinated. Remember, in game one, all we saw was Dark really taking off from midfield straight to the goal. It was all them. That last goal that they scored, very team-oriented and very, I want to say, engaged from the side of Miracle. Every single player, hey, we are going to dive in, we're going to fight for it, and that's what you got to do. So Miracle coming alive here, and now we're down to just a best of 3.
Now, they did sell out in that one moment on the third man, but when you're finding blood in the water and your sharks just like Miracle is, you're going to be doing that a little bit more often. But that is something, if Franklin Panthers want to find something to kind of build off of, a weakness, if you will, there is at least that defense that gets a little bit lacking. X-Sync, flip reset. It's awkward in the box. The hexagons are filled with blue cars. The same for the orange ones as Miracle responds, and now it just becomes some of this neutral ball play. Watch out! Don was trying to take a big blast at the ball.
Not exactly what you want to see if you're on the opposing side, but korupp, of course, saying, yo, maybe I get a chance for myself. Rolling out to the right, 25 boost, not too much. Pinches it for a teammate and tries to send it to mid. It's not going to work. Dark on the chase. Only pretty close to their own goal line, and that can always backfire if you're not careful. However, Don goes up for it and misses it as well, so maybe a little bit of a fake. Punched out to the center side as Coop tries to roll it over, flicks it up above, just to the right side, and it's once again Coop in the driver's seat.
You have too many players right on top of each other for a quick passing play, and korupp was never going to be able to catch up to that unless they blasted backwards towards their goal line. And instead, again, we see Franklin Panthers take this first goal lead. They did that in game number 2. Let's see what happens with Miracle trying to respond. But if X-Sync is now flashing the max, a great defensive effort by Dark.
That had to be necessary. There was about to be some BM going down there. You can't let that one fly through. And Dark sends it right back. It's a battle of the stars, Monkey Man. It is 100% the battle of the stars right now.
Seeing who can get the more stylistic one, and that's honestly just a nice rollover flick to send it from right post to left post, forcing the defenders with their noses engaged not towards the attack but towards their own net to chase it. And it's a tough angle, especially when you create that kind of separation. Dark is going to look to do it again, and this is starting to have some shades of game 1, but we're way more online with these players trying to be able to defend more actively. And X-Sync doing the exact same thing, is he wants to drag his team kicking and screaming, looking for the double. Coop just comes up with some great fortune on that.
I love the fact that you went for it, though. Have the confidence to make those plays. Have the confidence to demo, create space for your team. korupp finding an opportunity to try and punch in, but thankfully the respawn was just in time. But honestly, that's such an amazing job as, wow, Dark making it really, really close on that angle. Almost scoring an own goal, but knowing the limits of their own car. And that's going to be the awesome point about Franklin Panthers, though. X-Sync wants one of their own. Carried it to the low ground, but is challenged and kicked out. So just like that, we are reaching that halfway point, and we are once again neck and neck. This is what you want to see out of teams, is Dark annihilated by PCO.
Oh, the redirect. PCO gets the dig. That's basically your main middleman when it comes to volleyball, trying to make sure that that one at least goes back over the net. This one goes back over the midline. And again, we're right in the middle of game number 3, but we're tied up. No match point acquired by either squad, as this one will at least give someone a chance for it. 2 minutes to go. Dark looking for just a ground pinch, and that one comes expeditiously up the field. They get the boost, look to set up the ball, but that one never made it past PCO. And good, solid defense on both sides, especially with the Panthers are not allowing some of those flashier plays to bump through from Miracle.
And I mean, it's the targeting, I think, out on Dark. Dark has been put into the rotation of constant defense. You can see here being forced into that goal line, which actually makes setup extremely hard for making that individual play. Even here, Dark is trying to challenge, but there's always at least 2 on the aggressive side, so the Panthers are starting to narrow down the opportunities of victory, and Miracle has to have someone else. korupp tries to go for a nasty flick on the backside, but it's not going to work. Instead, it's going to be a read once again. Dark, though, putting it away, and korupp is like, yeah, that's exactly what I meant to do.
korupp with the musty attempt forced everyone to bite, and Dark just drops it right back into the top shelf from whence it dropped out of. And now that's 2 in a row here for Miracle at the sub 90-second mark. That's the same level of time that Franklin Panthers had last time that we saw this tied and then ultimately go the way of Miracle. A hot shot dropping into the hexes. Coop is going to not have any boost. That means Dark can take advantage. No double from the side wall, and that's going to be DonBoss that runs up, and now everyone's running back.
I think this is going to be a little bit of a harsh one to look at. Miracle starting to find their groove a bit. Franklin Panthers, they were able to skate away with game number 1. Dark is starting to become a force to be reckoned with. PCO sending it off to the left side. Needs to get some boost. Rolls over a full. That's going to be easy to work with here. korupp, though, finding a stray ball. PCO using the boost that we saw earlier to make sure to get into position. Now it's rolled right back. DonBoss, though, someone that's been very quiet over the entirety of the series, has yet to really have a name for themselves. korupp catching that one a little bit late. Miracle just kind of letting this ball roll around here and saying, we can wind down time. All we need is that one goal.
That was a fantastic set.
Oh!
korupp, the senior profits from the work of Dark. And this was actually the last touch right there. Made it over both PCO as well as Coop. And PCO had no boost to work with to adjust. Top 90 shot. That probably put it out of reach here, Orbital. As we go sub 1/2 minute, Franklin Panthers still with their heads left spinning.
Oh, Franklin Panthers. It's looking a bit rough. You're able to score one back, though, and Dxrk sync it up with the rest of the squad. It was a triple challenge, I think. You take a look at this. Coop went in, and it was just double lined up. You had no real way to tell where that ball was going to pop out. Franklin Panthers, all right. You scored within 10 seconds. You got 18. It's twice the amount of time that you had for that second goal.
DonBoss, they ended up, I guess, in the way on this one, as Dark is just going to try and slow things down. But that ends up being the third man that commits. korupp finds a better part of it, and they're going to be able to get this one back, as they, more than likely, with all of a kickoff rotation of timing to go, have finally put game 3 away.
This feels so good for Miracle after game 1, where it felt like they had the upper hand and kind of let the defense go. You can tell they are not slacking at any point this time around. Very much in control, pinched out, caught by Coop, but that will secure it. Sitting on 1 as the ball is dropped. A Miracle maintain a game 3 and move to 2-1.
Game number 4 on the way, and I feel like I've finally seen what's kind of the difference here, Orbital. Dark not acting completely alone, but is separating themselves from korupp and Don in terms of rotation. Don had themselves a quiet game. 56 points speaks to that. 7 shots, though, by korupp, and the senior stood up and said, yo, we're going to be able to have a fantastic time. Let's just start being able to feed the ball to one another. And Don was the unsung workhorse of this squad. So now we go into game 4. They've got that match point. It's a 2-1, a best of 5, and they want to be able to move on to that next round. And of course, you know, there's some other some peeps on the other side. The Franklin Panthers, they want to be able to kind of come up into their own devices, and it feels like they have to get beyond Dark, and that's a bit easier said than done.
I think they are doing what they can. I mean, we saw 3 saves come out there, I think, for PCO. PCO was putting in some work as well. It's just the sneaky aspect of Rocket League is there are times where you just can't mark everyone all at once. You have to let things get things a little bit out of control. But really, I am curious to see how DonBoss is going to come into play, because other teams, this is the opening round, by the way. If this is allowed through later, I think you're going to be in a little bit of trouble. So I want to see DonBoss really open up, whether in assists or goals. Take your pick.
Just anything to kind of get involved. Coop, this is the player that I wondered where they've gone. Where'd you go, Cotton Eye Joe? Because they just simply disappeared after a stellar performance, a hat trick in game 1. Since then, it's been a lot more of Dxrk, who really found a stellar form, and they've actually traded out cars, aesthetic or whichever, and flip reset, trying to do the same thing. Heck of a pass, Coop on target, and the defenders can't get it.
Coop's back and alive, Monkey Man. Coop is alive, and Dxrk syncing up with the stars, saying, all right, spotlight's on you. I'm going to make sure it's trained there the entire time. And the Panthers once again open up with a pretty strong goal. Now again, can they maintain a Miracle? Have a pretty good handle on how to adapt, how to get a read, and how to punish off the side, and what almost feels like a 2v3, but Coop's starting to get a little bit of a bully moment there. I want to point out how they weren't like hard chasing after that ball, just kind of nudging, ensuring that they don't have to demo or anything of the sort. They just have to guide you off course.
Look how they're baiting up Coop. They know that they're having to play as a no-boost warrior, and they stole all the big boosts in front of them. So want to nullify that nefarious actor that doesn't want Miracle to find success. But that's actually going to be a mishandle by Miracle, having to wait from the backboard. And look at Coop again. They're trying to bully him from the midfield. That's going to be a no touch by Dark and a great follow instead by DonBoss. But there's some isolation moments where they're really trying to kind of flex some of that ego and see if they respond and see if it really kind of affects their mechanics.
I think it is. I mean, you can tell that this is a lot more jockeying for position. Coop, of course, riding up, taking the page out of Dark's book. Leaning back, though, passing it to a teammate. Nexting is able to pick it up. korupp finds it midway, though. Challenge dead ball a little bit. korupp is running out of steam. Needs to find someone out in the middle or take a shot on top. And that's going to be a bounce back. DonBoss, we said we wanted them to wake up, and they were in perfect position. First goal for them, and it's a big one.
See, right underneath korupp as Don had the putback outside post shot. Dark sweeping the line. Everyone engaged from Miracle. And Franklin Panthers kind of left cross-eyed, having to deal with that. Oh, but this is a gimme goal. Dxrk able to take that one in stride, and that entire effort by Miracle nullified.
I cannot believe it came down to that. DonBoss half a second late on that rotation, trying to catch their, I almost want to say their mark. And that goal that was made earlier, Miracle are like, dang, now we got to do another one. Let's hurry up. Let's see what we can do here. High rise carry. Dark going to be challenged there on the left side of the field. Coop just waiting. Coop is just chilling, knows that they don't have to get too crazy, just needs to be in the right position for a stray ball.
The good news for anyone that plays Rocket League is that this game is made for repetitions. So even though they got to do it again, that's what they live for. From the backboard, Dxrk is going to try an extension here, and they find a nice neutral 50 that's going to flex to the outside of the pitch, but Miracle is able to at least get some of these air balls to start working up. They force Dxrk to jump, and that's going to be a wonderful team combination to get at least to midway, but instead DonBoss pushes that up. Now this is all in. You're going to see this one drop right down. It's a waterfall, and that's Dark that's splashing in all.
I swear, we know who the stars are at this point. We know who's stepping up. Challenging Coop, by the way. That is the rudest way I've seen it done. It feels like Dark is paying Coop back in kind. It's like, all right, you want to go blow for blow. You want to fight for the spotlight. Let's do it. 50-50 pops out to the side. High air ball there. DonBoss looking to open up, but able to force a couple of the defenders out. But PCO ensures that nothing else comes from it. Challenge in the air again. Dark has enough boost to try and get a little messy, but rolls in an awkward position, so wasn't able to recover. And that's going to be a demo, though. Coop just annihilated right there, and that hurts. Minute 40 left on the clock. Plenty of time for silliness to occur.
Oh, it's a soft touch. What a save, but the putback by Dxrk. They're dropping dimes on him. Miracle, they saw this challenge. Dxrk stayed in stride with it, and the Dark could do almost everything except be able to find some power from the crossbar from whence he pinched the save out from. Dxrk thrice hit that ball and then get them up to 3-2.
I cannot believe that. What an opening to be found. Now Coop ready to go for their own steal away. Pass to the back wall, challenge and bumped out, but double defenders are able to nullify that attack. Very well done on the read by the Franklin Panthers. An attempt to carry by DonBoss, but 3 on the left side. Can you bounce it over? Dark almost finding that angle, but Coop was ready to defend out. That ball is dragged out of the net, and now you're going to roll forward. No boost, though, to get past any of the others. A Miracle still on a waning point. 1 minute remaining.
Trying to see if this will end up going the distance. Game 5, deep into OT maybe. Oh, they send some chaos in the middle of the goal line. PCO threatening. They have Dxrk all the way back playing as a sentinel. They don't need another goal. This one's just fine. They just want to lock down Miracle. See if they at least overextend. Dark wants boost. They got both of that and ball. That's going to be dropped to the back goal line. And look at it. PCO won the finishing touch.
Franklin Panther. This is series 1 on the day, by the way. This is series 1 that we are watching here, and these two teams are going the distance. Miracle, I mean, I've seen miracles before in under 30 seconds. It's only a few times, though, as that's just a ball bouncing out to the side. Xsync was like, yo, let me get a 5th, please. Let's get messy with it. It's not going to happen too quickly. Right now, Miracle just kind of letting things slide at the very end, and it feels like that happened in game 1 as well. I want to see if they can go ahead and shore things up for game number 5, because it's the last chance that they get. It's the last opportunity they get here in the upper bracket, or else you're headed down lower, and you got to fight for your life to party and to move ahead.
Wow. Yeah. Round number 1. We're going game 5. We had all of a single OT, and the rest have just been done in regulation. We're flipping right back around to offensive output. 8 this time to Miracle with 12. Man, that seems to be our 12-8 differential here, Orbital. That keeps being the pattern, but it's just taking turns existing in different hands. Everyone getting involved on both sides this time. There is no lack of DonBoss. They were very much in the midst of it, but instead it's going to be Franklin Panthers, which, by the way, I've seen that program and I've seen those players before. They definitely be able to bring it out, and they're one of the best in the state. Really, I've seen them come up in North Carolina in big ways. But game 5, it's do or die. All the previous games washed away. You simply got to be able to execute, and this is just to be able to move to the next round of the bracket, not even the grands.
I mean, these squads as well are going to possibly go up against Phoenix, I believe, the #1 ranked squad that we're sitting there going, okay, this is going to be spicy. I mean, they got some stars on there. I mean, they're up there for a reason, and that's going to be the messy part. So right now, they want to have a good showing going into game number 5, because that next matchup is going to be difficult. Either way you cut it. PCO, of course, watching the ball fly right through, and korupp in 10 seconds corrupts this game by slinging home a goal.
I could tell you something was going to go wrong as soon as we were stuck on PCO, and no one from the Franklin Panthers was able to be in better supporting positions off that rotation. What a whip of the stick by Miracle to be able to get that one through. And Franklin Panthers, a little bit of nerves on the front end there. Got to see if they stabilize. It's just the first one. See what follows up for this first minute of play.
I think it's going to be, I'm going to run a prediction and say it's going to be a little bit more quiet. I think both times that we've seen it, it's always, you know, maybe about 2 minutes before we get real spicy into the game, and until we see, you know, those 3 or 4 goals just get slammed back to back to back in this series. So, you know, we'll give it a little bit of time, and I'll take a little sip of my Sprite, chill out, relax, as I mean, these teams are absolutely not doing that. The zero chill between all of them.
It would be a TikTok and a half that Dark definitely runs, where he would play with one hand on a controller and the other hand on a Sprite chill. I can see that happening. We'll see if he can do the Sprite chill challenge in that way later on. But the first minute does come to completion. You have 2, and Dark has to basically bounce that off their own backboard to find some level of safety. No boost here for DonBoss, and so they're going to send a race between themselves and PCO to that corner. The putback shot is going to be very well read by PCO, but DonBoss is going to give them an extra chance. Got to run that one back. Dark fills the gap.
I like that. We're seeing the opportunities come about, and I really, really enjoy that one, mainly because it means that players are getting a little bit more into the zone. Whenever you start spotting those rolling balls, it can be really, really dangerous, and can breed opportunities like this one. Miracle finding a rolling ball but not able to put it away means that this is still at a 1-0 state. We're now cresting into that second half, and I said it, Monkey Man, I think I pointed it out. Once we hit the halfway point, once 2 minutes expires, that's when the teams really turn online.
That's really when they do. This one's going to try and climb a little bit higher as well, as they continue to just separate the Panthers from the ball. That's a shot on target. What a save at the top shelf by DonBoss. That's going to go from that 45 angle, and korupp will catch it. Super senior doing super things. And unfortunately for the Panthers, even when they crossed that at the goal line, there was no one to be able to get that next shot. So Xsync will retreat and see what comes forward. Flip reset. Gonna look for it now. korupp right underneath, and everyone is flooding away from it there, Orbital. Right at this midway mark, you would expect follow-up shots, but they just don't see the perfect moment, and then they don't adjust to try and make it anything but.
I'm just kind of blown away with how soft this game has gotten. It's just soft touches and everything of the nature. I mean, they are trying to ensure that they don't get too messy because they know their defenses have been a little bit weak at points. And they're just like, okay, gotta play it soft. Don't go crazy just yet. But you need action in there. PCO gonna try and do it on their own. Carries it to the left. Pinched out by Dark. Immediately challenged by Coop. And then Dark tries to redirect. A little bit too slow on that flip, so the ball doesn't go exactly where you want. Sent back in the Panthers' hands as they have a minute 40 to try and make some magic happen.
Remember, this game number 1 started very eerily similar to what we're seeing from game 5. A score within the first 15 or so seconds, and then a very quiet remainder of the game. They scored at 54 seconds remaining. The side of the Panthers did, and then we had 3 scores just like that. That's a set. Trying to be able to dive a little bit further and deeper into enemy territory. That's going to be PCO. Oh, goodness, he gave him just a little too much, and that's enough for Dark to put a second through.
Dark just has this talent of being an annoying pest when it comes to challenging along the way, whether it be in the midfield, along the lines, or anywhere of the sort. Dark, if given the opportunity, will run away with a goal. And that's exactly what we're seeing here. And not just that, it's also very individualistic. Dark has had some amazing moments, just kind of carrying from one side of the field to the other. But I swear some of those goals that Dark has, you just are not expecting it. This one is set right in front of the goal, though, and Franklin Panthers cannot convert. Miracle hard pressed to ensure that these 2 goals are not overtaken.
You got to get a goal with time remaining. That is the name of the game, regardless. And it looks like they're going to play monkey in the middle and keep away. Miracle have this game all to lose. They should be able to take it forward as long as they don't let miracles happen in the wrong direction. Flip reset, individual efforts, trying to drop it low. They go underneath. X-Sync is going for the bump, and Coop whiffs. The putback, PCO. They're going to try one extra time. Coop is going to go to this high side corner and try to make this last 15 work for him. A dive in. That's a demo, and it's far too high.
That hurts, and that's pretty much the secure. It will be Miracle to make their way after a tight series number 1. It is going to be the finish here. 3-2. Dark. 50 ball touches that game alone. Ridiculous showing.
That's a ton of possession. Anyone that can be able to just use that measurement of kind of ball touches, that means that there's that much influence by Dark. And obviously, you got to see it end to end. They got a great shot, but this entire game, we knew that they were one of the key markers for success for this Miracle team. korupp came up in a big way, and so did Dawn, who really kind of faded out about midway through that series. But give it to them, as they were able to keep the Panthers from ever finding their footing. That last minute, I'm a little sad, because there was 2 chances, 2 in a row, where it felt like we could have seen the Panthers at least cut that lead in half, and they just couldn't keep their nerve.
I think that's what it comes down to. And the best part, this is not over for the players. This is, this is the upper bracket. You got plenty of time to play in the lower bracket as well. You have another chance, and these goals came at the cost of, maybe a little bit of honor, a little bit of their ego. I mean, Coop and Dark were going at it throughout the series, but then you see the glow up, or you see that advancement. You see almost a story written out as players on both sides started to erupt in goals, in scores, and assists, and everything of the sort. And korupp was a very close second for me.
Yeah, korupp, honestly, the senior coming in and trying to make a statement alongside the pedigree that is Dark, and it felt like that once they played catch up, that team in Miracle was stable, they were serene, and they were successful through and through. But we got more Rocket League in the forthcoming future, but even closer, we've got some Overwatch 2 coming live and loud at you. We'll talk about all that and more here for the August Spin Showcase in just a moment.